Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 459 based on novel. So let's start. Sitting Mountain Guest sat in a corner in the distance. He was listening to the story of the three ancestral gods, but he couldn't help shaking his head and sighing. They are mixing lies with the truth, and they are trying to scare all those beings from Universe Ocean. They claimed that Universe Boat was built to defend against sector beasts. What a joke. Luo Feng and the thousands of great beings from all the powers in Universe Ocean were indeed terrified. Universe Boat had been created to defend against sector beasts. Of course, as for matured sector beasts, said the young ancestral god in a clear voice. Sector beasts have two periods. The first period is an incubation period, and the second is a growth period. During the incubation period, Universe Ocean will breed 1 billion sector beasts. What? 1 billion sector beasts? Isn't there only one sector beast? All the great beings were shocked. They had surmised that there must be only one sector beast. The young ancestral god continued, Universe Ocean will breed 1 billion sector beasts, and they'll fight and kill each other, eating each other. The process will decrease the overall number of existing sector beasts. Eating other sector beasts will make the remaining sector beasts stronger and stronger. Finally, when all the other sector beasts are dead, one sector beast will survive the whole process. Everyone held their breath. Luo Feng was terrified. 1 billion sector beasts fought each other, and only one was left. That sector beast would be a catastrophe. The sector beast who survives in the end represents destruction. It's a real nightmare, said the aged ancestral god. If that sector beast enters this phase, it'll be in the growth period. None of you from the 3 universe eras and 2 holy lands will be able to stop him now. Once a sector beast enters the growth period, it can still devour everything, but it has a sector inside its body which can breed creatures. Once it's entered growth period, it can breed one powerful warrior after another. The aged ancestral god sighed. It'll be truly invincible. We must kill them during their incubation period. Though there are many sector beasts at incubation period, they are comparatively weak, and they can't breed powerful warriors as well. This is the best time to kill them, said the aged ancestral god solemnly. Go kill as many sector beasts as possible so that they don't have a chance to eat others, then they won't become stronger. According to the great original mind, when this universe era ends, there'll be only one sector beast left, and it's the sector beast at growth period, the invincible sector beast. We must kill them all before this universe era ends. Everyone turned silent. Thoughts flooded their minds. However, said Double-Face Ancestral God, sector beasts are still terrific during the incubation period. Universe Masters can't go. Otherwise, you're just being suicidal. Only Universe Supreme Masters can go. Universe Supreme Masters? What? Universe Masters can't go? Everyone was dazed. Almost all of the thousands of great beings who gathered here were Universe Masters. However, according to the 3 ancestral gods, Universe Masters were qualified to fight the sector beasts. Besides, Double-Faced Ancestral God continued. Even if you are a Universe Supreme Master, you need a Supreme True Treasure armor and a Soul-type Supreme True Treasure to fight the sector beasts. Otherwise, you're being suicidal. Of course, the best-case scenario is that you can get some machine-type valuables from the world of Jinn. Then your power will be significantly improved. Remember, Soul-type Supreme True Treasures and Supreme True Treasure armors, you must have both. Otherwise, even Universe Supreme Masters can't go. Listening to the ancestral gods talk made all the powers panic, including the Hong Alliance. The Universe Masters conversed among themselves, and they were all scared. How powerful are these sector beasts? And they are this powerful during their incubation period. Only true gods can go fight them, and even true gods have to have soul and armor supreme true treasures. We're not their match. We can't do anything to help. So terrifying. We didn't plan to go in the first place, and since we're not powerful enough, we won't risk our lives. If even true gods needed soul and armor supreme true treasures to protect themselves, who would dare to go? Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader gave each other a look. Someone had to go. If no one went, then it would be destined that when all the sector beasts destroyed each other and only one survived, that one would breed a great many powerful warriors. It would take all the warriors it had bred to roam Universe Ocean. Such an event would be truly apocalyptic for Universe Ocean. Even the Holy Lands would be annihilated, so even if they could transcend incarnations before this universe era ended, it would be of no use, as the Holy Lands would be destroyed anyway. Someone had to stand up. Suddenly, a thick voice said, "Where are the sector beasts?" The young ancestral god glanced around and answered, "They reside in the core area of Tilted Peak Sector, the Land of Darkness. It's there. It's in the core area. None of us universe masters would dare to go there. No wonder nobody is ever able to get out of the Land of Darkness. It's where those sector beasts reside." Everyone memorized the name, Land of Darkness. As for the Hong Alliance, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader were stunned. Huge Axe. Huge Axe died in Land of Darkness. It's in the Land of Darkness. That's where the sector beasts live. Luo Feng was terrified. He now understood why Huge Axe had died so quickly. After all, Huge Axe hadn't had a Supreme True Treasure armor or a Soul-type Supreme True Treasure. He didn't even have a Palace-type Supreme True Treasure. The only thing he had was his godly axe. Sector Beast. Primal Chaos City leader stood next to Luo Feng, his eyes gleaming with hostility and fury. Huge Axe had been like a brother to him. He was enraged to realize that Huge Axe had been killed by sector beasts. "It's in the Land of Darkness," said the aged ancestral god. "You have to go through the areas around the Land of Darkness if you want to transcend incarnations, which means that if you go transcend incarnations, you'll be stopped and attacked. Besides, even if one of you can successfully transcend incarnations, your holy lands will be destroyed by sector beasts in the future anyway. If they stay alive, none of you can transcend incarnations. All of you will die. They have to die," the aged ancestral god continued. "Now, go. Go to the world of Jinn, improve your power, and get as many true treasures and machine-type true treasures as you can. The more powerful you become, the greater the chance that you can survive fighting sector beasts, or maybe even kill them. The more sector beasts you kill, the more you contribute to the original mind. For that, the original mind will bestow you with powerful valuables from the ancient civilization and ancient inheritances. You can get as many as you desire, as long as you kill enough sector beasts." The three ancestral gods looked at each other. They then went into the True Treasure Palace and flew away. The three ancestral gods left. However, all the great beings from all the powers in Universe Ocean were in an uproar. The tidings brought by the three ancestral gods were just horrendous, and the news made them realize that there were truly horrifying beings living in Universe Ocean. 1 billion sector beasts. And only one of them could survive? Sector beasts had sectors in their bodies that could breed powerful warriors? "It's not just a sector beast. It's a world," Luo Feng whispered. "Once it enters its growth period, it can breed many warriors, and those warriors could destroy everything. If it enters the later part of its growth period, it might take all of Universe Ocean to destroy them." Python River Army Camp of the East Army in the world of Jinn. The Earthling original body of Luo Feng was still sitting on the island. Luo Feng used his military point ring. The time and space in a stone hall changed, and a golden being appeared. "Lord Milky Way," the golden being said with a bow. Luo Feng nodded. "I need information about sector beasts." "Sector beasts?" The golden being thought for a moment. Then lots of characters appeared. Luo Feng turned around. He had no doubt that the world of Jinn was the remains of the ancient civilization. It did have the information about sector beasts. However, it was brief. Sector beasts are very cruel and horrendous creatures. The birth of sector beasts represents destruction and annihilation. They have a powerful, dark sector in their bodies where their bodies can keep breeding powerful warriors. The warriors produced are good at speed, good at defense, good at attacks, and highly skilled at self-destruction. And there are countless powerful warriors. The more powerful a sector beast is, the more powerful the warriors bred in its body will be. When a sector beast truly matures, it is a real apocalypse. Even the entire Jinn country at its prime couldn't defend against a mature sector beast and the army it leads. It's born for destruction. Every time one is born, it is either annihilated during the early period, or it destroys many powers, forcing the remaining powers to cooperate to destroy it. It's the enemy of all powers. It has to be killed as soon as it's discovered. Otherwise, it'll exact an even larger price as time goes by. The information was brief. Dating back to when the world of Jinn was first established, it had never come across a sector beast at its true prime, so it didn't know much about sector beasts. There were only some legends about them. Luo Feng was petrified. So terrifying. The world of Jin had His Majesty the Godly King, and there were lots of great beings, countless eternal true gods, and true gods of void space, an army of countless true gods. It even had a machine-type valuable that needed 10 million true gods at the same time to operate it. Yet it still couldn't defend itself against a mature sector beast. It only documents sector beasts at their growth period, rather than the incubation period, thought Luo Feng. The growth period ranges from weak to mature. However, even during the weak period, we can't resist them. We have to kill them all during their incubation period. In the space outside the world of Jin, true treasure palaces were floating around. Whether they wanted to enter the world of Jin for transcending incarnations or to kill sector beasts for survival, they all needed to gain inheritance and valuables to strengthen themselves from the world of Jin. Suddenly, the membrane of the miniature universe changed to white. The color has changed. We can go in now. Let's go in. Let's go. All the true treasure palaces entered the miniature universe of the world of Jin from every direction. Go, said Primal Chaos City leader. You all have the map of the world of Jin. You don't have Luo Feng's guidance this time. Hopefully, you can all pass the screening of the army. All the universe masters were respectful and flew out of Star Tower. The group of universe masters from the Hong Alliance then went into their true palaces and flew toward the world of Jin, through the universe membrane, and into the world of Jin. Some even flew there by themselves. As time went by, those who had sent the great beings from the same power into the world of Jin all came back, yet Luo Feng's Star Tower still floated in space. Luo Feng? Primal Chaos City leader turned around and looked at Luo Feng at his side. No need to rush. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. Hua. A silver spaceship flew out of the world of Jin, and it flew toward Star Tower. It shrank as it approached Star Tower and flew inside. What is? Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, confused. I said I gained quite a lot in the world of Jin. Luo Feng turned around. Golden Horned Beast, bathed in black light, walked in. I've taken the prizes back. Prizes? Primal Chaos City leader looked pleased. He knew that Luo Feng had high enough authority to kill all universe masters that entered that world of Jin, and he was capable of doing that all at once. This was true authority. So naturally, getting abundant valuables from the world of Jin was a piece of cake for him. However, Primal Chaos City leader wasn't sure how many valuables Luo Feng had acquired. 10 machine-type valuables, said Luo Feng. And 100 true god-level true treasures. Luo Feng didn't seek to conceal it, as it wasn't worth concealing. Compared to the huge amount of military credits he had, it was a drop in the ocean. That many? Primal Chaos City leader was dazed. He knew that it had been a rewarding trip for Luo Feng, but this was outrageous. True god-level valuables are supreme true treasures in Universe Ocean. 100 supreme true treasures? This is incredible. That's equivalent to all the supreme true treasures of all the powers of Universe Ocean combined. Luo Feng shook his head. That was before. With all these great beings now entering the world of Jin, the valuables in Universe Ocean will greatly increase. That's right, Primal Chaos City leader said with a nod. We can't just give them away easily. We have rules in our race. Luo Feng, you got all these valuables, so you have every right to decide how to distribute them. Individuals must pay a price for them or make a huge contribution to get them. Luo Feng nodded. I have my own plan as well. Certainly, they need to make contributions. They were at the highest status in the human race. It was up to them to decide the rules among the humans. It's time to go back. Luo Feng looked at the space outside, took control of Star Tower, and flew outside. Ever since being sealed and bestowed with the strength of a world by the Godly King of Jin country, other than the Godly King, who had never appeared, Luo Feng had the highest authority in the world of Jin. He could easily get anything he wanted in the world of Jin without any trouble. After all, he could suppress even an eternal true god with the strength of the world of Jin itself. Luo Feng could now shift his focus back to Universe Ocean and the human race. However, he left his original body in the world of Jin. For one thing, he could stay there to get valuables anytime. Plus, he could only be MIA for a short period of time. If he vanished for too long, seniors such as the 4 generals in the world of Jin would be worried. Both of Mausoleum is back. I can also take Wu Chi God out. After all, I'm invincible in the world of Jin, so there's no need for Wu Chi God. Golden Horned Beast is also back because there are many dangers in Universe Ocean. The Earthling original body was preparing in World of Jinn. He was waiting for the great beings from Purple Moon Holy Land and the United Force to come in, but that could take several months. He decided that the date of the massacre would be 1 year later. The bug race territory of the original universe. Sector beasts. Could there truly be beings so terrifying? Bug Emperor sat on the throne and contemplated. We haven't fully prepared ourselves yet, so there's no need to rush. Even if we rush there now, when we arrive outside the miniature universe of the world of Jinn, the universe membrane may no longer be white. We must prepare ourselves. We'll enter in the fourth era. We need to get as many valuables as we can. Actually, for all the powers in Universe Ocean, although many universe masters had entered the world of Jinn, only a few true gods had entered. Each true god was the pillar of a race, and once a true god died, its miniature universe would crumble, and all the creatures inside would die. So when true gods thought about going to the world of Jinn, they needed to exercise extra caution. They also had their own desires, and the message from the original mind helped them make up their minds. Some entered the world of Jinn. Some plan to wait and enter the world of Jinn in the fourth era. In the original universe, at the center of the human territory, in the primal secret region. This machine-type valuable is so powerful. Primal Chaos City Leader stood there. His entire body was engulfed in golden light. There were 3 pairs of golden wings on his back, permeating powerful forces. It was indeed a wondrous-looking machine-type valuable. It was also a top-tier machine-type valuable Luo Feng obtained. I can be 2 levels more powerful with this valuable. He shook his head. No wonder the original mind asked all the great beings to enter the world of Jinn. It has to, said Luo Feng. Without the threat of the sector beasts, we wouldn't have even been allowed to find the world of Jinn. That's right. Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. While traveling back to the original universe from Universe Ocean, he tested the power of the machine-type valuable and was amazed. It might have been difficult for other human universe masters to acquire the valuables, but Primal Chaos City Leader had easily gotten a machine-type valuable, a soul-type Supreme True Treasure, a Palace-type Supreme True Treasure, and a Domain-type Supreme True Treasure from Luo Feng, all for free. Primal Chaos City Leader knew that a storm was coming, so he didn't reject them. Luo Feng, you have made as many contributions to the human race as Teacher Origin, said Primal Chaos City Leader as he traveled back to the original universe. Teacher, you've been guarding the humans from within, said Luo Feng, guarding and managing our race. You make our race prosper. This is the most important contribution. When Primal Chaos City Leader was back in the original universe, he could only wield power at top-tier level 6 even with a machine-type valuable. But he was still thrilled about the valuables he had obtained. If Huge Axe had these valuables, he could have, Primal Chaos City Leader sighed. Teacher, but just as Luo Feng opened his mouth, he frowned. Primal Chaos City Leader looked to the outside. It's the 3 ancestral gods. Let's go. Su. They both disappeared. The 3 ancestral gods from the Ancestral God School stood above the endless remote ocean. Remote Ocean Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader appeared together. Why are you here, ancestral gods? Said Primal Chaos City Leader. The aged ancestral god said, Chaos, we're here for Milky Way Horde Leader. For me? Luo Feng frowned. That's right, said the youngest of the ancestral gods. According to the original mind, even though Milky Way Horde Leader is only a universe master, is the strongest great being in Universe Ocean. The strongest great being in Universe Ocean? Primal Chaos City Leader was shocked. This was coming from the original mind, so it carried great weight. With great power comes great responsibility, said the young ancestral god. The danger is coming, so we need great beings to deal with it. When we were sharing the information about sector beasts with all the powers from Universe Ocean, we told them that universe masters weren't able to fight sector beasts. However, we were only talking about universe masters in general. That doesn't include you, Milky Way Horde Leader. Double-faced ancestral god added, Milky Way Horde Leader is the strongest great being in Universe Ocean. If you can't defeat sector beasts, nobody can. Even though you are only a universe master, you have multiple bodies, said the aged ancestral god. Even if one of them dies, this endless remote ocean can quickly make one. The only things lost would be some valuables. This is the crucial moment that decides the fate of all creatures in Universe Ocean. Milky Way Horde Leader, you have multiple bodies and you're the strongest. You're the most suitable one to fight sector beasts. No need to flatter me. Luo Feng smirked. This is only temporary. Those Universe Supreme Masters haven't got machine-type valuables. Once they acquire some, their power will surge, then I won't be the strongest. As for the sector beasts, he shook his head. I'll decide whether I'm going or not. Killing sector beasts is a huge contribution, said the aged ancestral god. You will be able to ask the original mind to repay you. If you make enough contributions, even Teacher Origin, suppressed by the original universe, could be released. What? Yelled Primal Chaos City leader. Teacher Origin? Released? Luo Feng was thrilled as well. That's right, said the young ancestral god. The more contributions you make, the more you can ask from the original universe. It's more difficult to ask the original universe to release Teacher Origin than asking for some machine-type valuables. The original mind says that once Teacher Origin is released, he can immediately make a breakthrough and reach a new level. Presently, he won't be released and will be destroyed when this universe era is over. However, since the sector beasts are a threat to all the races, so if you kill them, you can release Teacher Origin. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader gave each other a look. Milky Way Horde leader, said the young ancestral god, if you have any doubts, you can come to the ancestral god's secret region and ask us. We can talk to the original mind directly and give you an answer. We won't stay here for long. Then the three ancestral gods smiled and flew away. This is a major crisis that could exterminate all races within the universe ocean and bring the human race to its end. Primal Chaos City leader told Luo Feng after watching the three ancestral gods disappear. It may be important to help Teacher Origin regain his freedom, but compared to this major crisis, Teacher Origin's situation seems mild. You must never, ever be influenced. Also, he added. Now, you are merely a universe master, but your combat power is already quite powerful. His brows furrowed as he frowned. Once you become a true god, your power will definitely increase by a few more levels. By then, it will be much easier for you to deal with the sector beast. You will also be more confident. And now, the willpower of the primal universe origin is guiding you, encouraging you to go to war. Is it truly because it earnestly wanted the sector beast dead? Or because it wanted to borrow the efforts of the sector beast to kill and destroy you? After all, other than huge acts, none of us really exchanged blows with a sector beast before. Known to be the existence that represents destruction, its attack methods should be absolutely terrorizing. Even if you have multiple bodies, if your soul is exterminated, then the various other bodies would perish altogether. If the willpower of the primal universe origin truly wants you to kill the sector beast, then you have no cause for worry. But if it intended to borrow aid from the sector beast to kill you, then you need to exercise extreme vigilance. This is where you can never let your guard down. After all, for countless years, even if the sector beast was truly unstoppable, at the very most, the primal universe would self-destruct and transform back into the origin. When the worst was over, it could still evolve back into the primal universe. The power of the primal universe. For anyone to truly be able to destroy it from the fundamental level, it is simply unheard of. If that was so, then why would it want to kill the sector beast? Is it for real? Or is everything merely part of a larger plot? Luo Feng nodded repeatedly as he listened. It was true. A sector beast represented destruction, but the primal universe represented life. A sector beast would take an extremely long time to be born, but the primal universe was continuously undergoing destruction and rebirth. In fact, it had never truly been destroyed before. This was because even a sector beast had never been truly able to destroy the primal universe. I understand, said Luo Feng, nodding solemnly. After all, Teacher Origin is already suppressed, Primal Chaos City leader lamented. If even you are being led to annihilation by the willpower of that origin, no matter how confident I am still very much aware that in certain aspects, I will never be as good as you and Teacher Origin. Luo Feng did not rush his way to the land of darkness. After all, according to what the willpower of the origin had openly said, it had to be destroyed before this reincarnation era. What a lengthy unit of time a reincarnation era was. After all, Luo Feng had not even lived past 10 million years. Compared to a reincarnation era, that was such a short period that it carried little significance. This was why Luo Feng had more than ample time to prepare. At the same time, Luo Feng was also preparing for the upcoming big sweep. Another couple of days passed. In the Milky Way galaxy, within the Milky Way Holy Land, remote ocean, Luo Feng sat in the 9-story tower floating before his eyes. Earlier, he had completed the comprehension of the third stage of Shawu Wings. But, following the increase in the level of secret technique, even Luo Feng, who was on Star Tower, could roughly comprehend how much more profound the secret techniques were at the higher levels. He would likely stay here to study and comprehend. Luo Feng also hoped that, through his understanding and his grasp of the various other secret techniques, he could also boost his progress on the godly body path. On the godly body path, all comprehension of life genes had, in fact, something common to the secret techniques, the Rhinoceros Emperor game, and several others. They all had some degree of connection to one another. Teacher? Remote Ocean Luo Feng suddenly stopped what he was doing. With a flip of his hand, he retrieved a communication token. Luo Feng. There was incoming news, and it was sent by Sitting Mountain Guest. Immediately, Remote Ocean Luo Feng grew serious. Ever since the fourth most dangerous land had emerged, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest seemed to have disappeared and did not seem bothered about any of these anymore. Teacher, Luo Feng responded. Those three ancestral gods must have already looked you up, Sitting Mountain Guest said. Luo Feng was taken aback, but still, he replied, yes. Humph. Other than you, there is no one else they can look for, Sitting Mountain Guest replied. But you have to bear this in mind. Do not hasten into going over to the land of darkness. After all, that place is the nest of the sector beasts. There will be many sector beasts inside. If you are ready and have decided on when to go over to deal with them, come look for me before you go. Luo Feng was filled with uncertainty. Teacher, over to your place? You just need to remember to do so. Sitting Mountain Guest cut off the communication line curtly. Luo Feng was dumbfounded. What is going on? He frowned as he tried to make sense of his doubts. Previously, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest was usually considered someone with an even temper. He had always been very concerned about Luo Feng, too. But since the emergence of the fourth most dangerous land, Sitting Mountain Guest had changed. Even in the midst of such massive events, he had not bothered looking for Luo Feng at all. This time around, Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest made a sudden call to Luo Feng, and although it was merely a curt conversation with a single instruction, Luo Feng could feel that Teacher was, most likely, still deeply concerned about him. There seemed to be some changes in Teacher's temperament, Luo Feng whispered. Could it be due to the world of Jin? The 9-volume manual. It is a set of lost knowledge of the Jin dynasty that was not supposed to be imparted to outsiders. Star Tower is a true treasure that was most likely created by a true god. I had my suspicions earlier on that Teacher was related to the Jin dynasty. Plus, Teacher has ordered me to look for him before I go ahead to deal with the sector beasts. Luo Feng's brows furrowed as he sank deep into thought. He was no fool. Of course he could feel how mysterious Teacher was being, and he felt that the secret that Sitting Mountain Guest was keeping would be quite a big deal. Luo Feng cast everything aside. The most important thing that he had to prepare for at the moment was the big sweep. In a blink of the eye, 1 year had passed. In the world of Jin, at the military camp of East Army, at the base camp of Python River Army, Luo Feng was in the hall of his stone house. Ring of Military Point, Luo Feng wore the ring of the military point on his wrist. Activating his godly power, there was a sudden change in the surrounding time and space, and a figure bathed in golden light appeared out of nowhere. Lord Milky Way, the figure bathed in golden light greeted. Show me simulations of all the law masters and true gods who passed the selections for the 4 major armies that I have investigated on so far, Luo Feng commanded. Within the year, he had carried out as many as 6 rounds of investigations to ensure that he was constantly kept abreast of the overall number and any information about the great beings from the United Forces Alliance and Purple Moon Holy Land that had entered the world of Jin. Yes, the figure with golden light responded with reverence. Within the vast surroundings of the space originally only occupied by Luo Feng and the figure bathed in golden light, numerous figures were rapidly appearing. These figures followed a very systematic way of queuing up. They all stood unmoving on the same spots, looking like fools while exuding their life auras. In the world of military arms, it was relatively easy to simulate life auras. Luo Feng looked around while carefully sensing with his godly power. The basic appearances of certain universe masters remained the same. After all, the natives of the world of Jin had not seen them before, so whether or not their appearances were different did not matter much to them. This was why, by just searching with his naked eye, he could already discover a few targets. Keep these 61 and clear away the rest, Luo Feng ordered while speedily using his godly power to lock down 61 universe masters amidst the crowd. Yes, the figure bathed in golden light replied in reverence. Suddenly, a large number of warrior figures started vanishing one by one, leaving behind 61 warriors who were law masters. Show me the list that recorded the time they entered the army, Luo Feng ordered. He had just given his order when, instantly, above these 61 law masters, their accurate times of entry into the respective armies appeared in order of precedence. These 61 law masters arrived in batches. Luo Feng looked and nodded his head in silence. In total, they were divided into 5 batches, and the final batch entered 2 months ago. So, from 2 months ago until now, there isn't a single one that entered the army. Based on what he had investigated over the course of the past year, during the first month of the Third Era, he had only set the average number of soldiers joining the army at 12. From the 2nd to 8th month, an outbreak was considered to have occurred. The number of soldiers joining the army was at its peak. With the passage of time, at the later stage, the number was obviously reduced. Then, in the final 2 months, there was no longer anyone joining the army. I suppose the numbers of Universe Masters from Purple Moon Holy Land and the United Forces Alliance are almost reaching their limits, Luo Feng said to himself. Throughout the year, Purple Moon Holy Land had a total of 110 Universe Masters joining the army. On the other hand, the United Forces Camp sent 166 Law Masters. This can be considered one batch. In total, Purple Moon Holy Land must have a total of 205 warriors still alive. And the United Forces Camp must have a total of 238. Luo Feng nodded as he thought it over. I suppose the majority of Universe Masters from Purple Moon Holy Land have charged their way in, and it is likewise for the United Forces Alliance, where as many as half of its forces may have barged their way here. It was undeniable that the two groups of powers attached great importance to this. Or, rather, every Universe Master harbored an intense yearning. If the number that was eliminated during the selections was also taken into consideration, then the number of Universe Master who came in was evidently much, much higher. Judging from the number of warriors, it's quite obvious that the number being disqualified during the selections is not big. Luo Feng nodded discreetly. Seems like, during selections for the Universe Masters from my Universe Ocean, their death rates were much lower than those of the natives of the world of Jin. Luo Feng speculated that the various powerful groups would act in batches. Every batch would most likely bring along some treasures, and there might even be supreme true treasures among these treasures. After all, some of the Universe Masters from the various groups who entered the world of Jin during the First and Second Eras had carried out exchanges with their race's supreme true treasures at military points to ensure that they had maximized their benefits. It went without saying that many of the supreme true treasures within Universe Ocean were treasures at the level of true gods of void space. Even for those that at true god level, some of these were very unique. By seizing the world of Jin, he would be able to exchange quite a fair number of treasures of a true god level. It's time for action. Luo Feng took in a deep breath as a glimmer of murderous intent flashed momentarily in his eyes. The 4 generals. Luo Feng established direct contact with the 4 generals of the 4 major armies through the world of military arms. Merely a short moment later, the simulated figures appeared not far from Luo Feng. Milky Way. Milky Way, why have you summoned us? That's quite rare. Harmonious Snow and the other 3 generals had already acknowledged Luo Feng as the heir of Godly King, as they were aware that Luo Feng could make use of the strength of the world of Jin. They were also aware that His Majesty the Godly King greatly favored Luo Feng, so the moment he summoned them, they would naturally turn up without further ado. I want to kill a batch of law masters, Luo Feng said in a straightforward manner. The 4 generals were flustered. Kill a batch? Kill how many? How many millions? The 4 generals were very worried, as they were reluctant to kill too many warriors so brutally. Such an event would bring about chaos. Luo Feng laughed. Fret not. Not even 500 of them. Not more than 500. The 4 generals could now laugh along with him. Such an insignificant number of law masters. It would be equivalent to a normal fight within a random tribe, where the number of law masters who died was unknown. Fewer than 500, this was not substantial enough to trouble them into rendering their service. The reason why I am requesting that you 4 generals lend me a helping hand is because all these warriors, close to 500 of them in total, are scattered among the 4 armies, Luo Feng explained. My plan is to attack and kill them all in one move, and my requirement is that these must be sole attacks. They are scattered all over the 4 military camps. Killing them all in one go is very difficult, so I can only consider it if I enlist the help of all 4 generals. If you all could execute your miniature universes together to enshroud the entire military camp, I would be able to eliminate all those souls directly in one go, and none shall survive. This video will end here.